Hey guys, so following the last time I spoke to you, we finished Act 3 and started making our way through the journey of Act 4. Now, as always, before anything, I would just like to thank you all for continued support. You guys are awesome, I appreciate every advice you guys give me. And now, let's start the journey of Act 4. So the journey of Act 4 begins by killing some mobs and bosses in the first area, and very shortly after moving to the mines. Here in the first layer of the mines, there wasn't exactly anything too special, there was just this one guy that sent me to the second layer of the dungeon. Once I got here to the second layer of the dungeon, the veins, I faced the strongest beast I found to this day. This beast was stronger than anything I ever faced before. No matter how much damage I did, he just tanked everything. He also had some sort of a buff or something that drained all my mana. And as you can see, I died a few times, and the second time I died, I accidentally pressed go to town instead of go to checkpoint. And unfortunately, when I got back to the first layer of the mines, every mob and everything again appeared, and I had to start all over again. I had to find the guy again, I had to do all the little things again. It is what it is, I mean, I should be more careful, it's my fault. But yeah, not too big of a deal. I cleared everything, I made my way back. And eventually I killed a beast, maybe in my 5th try or something. I unfortunately forgot to record it, but I did kill it eventually and cleared everything else as well. Once I collected everything this guy needed, he sent me to the Azurite mines. Here in the mines there was a cart that I could send to some locations with items and everything in them. And I also needed to find a fracture wall somewhere. But before that, I needed to mine some Azurite to make the dynamite and the flare. And I have to say that these mines are actually quite tough. For majority of mobs are not. But every time you make the journey from one checkpoint to another, there's always this a mini boss, and he's really strong. Every time I face him, I have to get the cart all the way to the end and then buff and everything, and only then I'm able to kill it. I'm not able to kill it moving along the way. It's just too difficult for me. Once I crafted the flare and the dynamite, I started looking for the fractured wall, which honestly was quite annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Probably it took me a good hour or so to find the fractured wall, while facing all the mobs and everything. But trying to find the fractured wall, I eventually ran out of sulfite or whatever it was called, so I started to move along on foot and trying to find the fractured wall. Even though I wasn't recording because of how long it took, I completely forgot to press record once I found the wall. But unfortunately when I did, I threw the dynamite, and at the same time I faced the other way and the dynamite just blew up and didn't damage the wall. And unfortunately this is the only dynamite I had with me. So I had to go back and craft another one, but of course when you do go back, the map doesn't show anymore. You have to look all over again, which is kind of annoying in this game, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if you explore something you should know it by then and the map should show it by then, but it is what it is. I eventually, maybe after 30 minutes or so, found another fracture wall, and this time I was successful. I fractured it, I took everything, and I went back to him, I took my reward, and I made my way out of the mines finally. Once I make it out of the mines, I made my way to the Lady Cockroach, that's what we're gonna call her from now. She sent me to both of her dreams, her or somebody's, I'm honestly not too sure to be honest. And this first dungeon, the red one, honestly, I wasn't too much of a fan of it. It was quite long, really long, and then it had another layer that was also really long. There wasn't anything interesting in them or between them. It was just a long run pretty much, and nothing really interesting about them. I mean, I guess it looked nice, I don't know. The boss itself at the end of this dungeon, honestly, he was quite weak. I was a little bit disappointed. After such a long run, I thought it was gonna be exciting, but I just killed it without any issues. Then I went back to the city for a second and I found this crazy Vand. Just look at the stats and how much spell damage does it have. That's one juicy Vand, at least in my opinion. Anyway, I went back to the Lady Cockroach. She told me to go to another dream. The second dream was a little bit more interesting, to be honest. It was something like a arena fighting. The first layer of the second dungeon wasn't too interesting, except for the crucible that I thought I can handle. I went to the brutal and unfortunately I did not. I died, and then I had to make all the way around the first layer, which was quite long. Once I made my way back, you would think I would be more careful, but no, I died again and I made my way back again. But like people say, the third time is the charm, and third time was a good one. Third time I didn't die anymore. Then I went to the second layer of the dungeon. I like the second layer quite a lot, to be honest. I like this type of arena fighting with mobs and everything. This sort of like a gladiator ring. I liked it. It looked cool, it sounded cool. The visuals were awesome of this arena. I enjoyed it. This was fun to me. Nothing too interesting as far as the drops goes, or as far as the bosses go, nothing crazy. Just good looking dungeon, that's about it. Eventually I made my way to the final boss, which again, he wasn't strong or anything. I thought he would be a little bit more strong, but you know, it is what it is. Compared to the monster I found in mines, these guys were nothing. I killed him, I took the quest item, and I went back to the lady cockroach. She shot her laser into the wall and opened an entrance to the belly of the beast. Once I entered the belly of the beast, I made my way to the end of this first layer, and once again I found Petey. For the second time she wanted to fight me. I have no problem, if you want to fight me, I'll give you a run for your money, no big deal. But you're gonna lose, you will. And she admitted it, so we're cool. Then she asked me to kill these other 3 mini bosses. All of them were weak, like easy to kill. And once I did, I made my way to the final boss. And at the time, I didn't know that, but this was actually the final boss of Act 4. And the funny thing is, the reason I didn't know that is because it didn't feel like it. This guy wasn't strong or anything. You know, in the first 3 acts, I sort of was able to tell this is it, this is the final boss, this is like a grand finale of the act. But this time, honestly, the Act 4 was so short, even though this boss had some sort of a build up to it, but it was so short and underwhelming that honestly I thought, there's no way. There's just no way, man. And he wasn't strong or anything, he was pretty weak. I didn't have that much of a problem with him. I didn't even die once, and I died like 5 times to the first beast I found in the mines. So honestly guys, I just thought that this was like a mid-act boss or something. He just didn't feel like this is the end of the act, but it was. I made my way to this mountain and I thought, okay, so I guess this is like the second part of this act. But no, I made my way all the way to the top of the mountain and that's it, we're in Act 5. When this device teleported me, I still thought I'm in Act 4, but as soon as I opened the map, I saw that I'm actually in Act 5, and I was completely surprised because I wasn't expecting it. So I have to say the Act 4 was so much shorter than I thought it would be. The Act 3 was short, but it was for a reason, it had ascendancy, and the ascendancy was like the second half of the Act 3, but the Act 4 didn't have anything like it. But yeah, anyway guys, it was a quick run through Act 4, wasn't anything interesting to be honest. I like the mines because you can find a lot of items there, but I don't know how to find more sulfite or whatever it was called, I don't remember now. I liked the visuals of Act 4, like most of the arenas and everything looked very nice, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the gladiator arenas, they looked really nice. But all in all, there was nothing interesting that much. It was just a quick run without anything too much to remember about. I hope that the Act 5 has a little bit more in store for me. Not that I was disappointed by Act 4, it's just that the first 3 acts felt like a natural progression, and the Act 4 just didn't. I didn't feel like I made the next step. There wasn't anything to make me feel like, okay, we're progressing to the game. Or okay, this boss is stronger, or okay, these dungeons are more complex or more awesome or something. I don't know. It was a little bit underwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. I liked the first 3 areas more. Even though, let's say, the first act was just an introduction to the game, but it progressed. So does the second act and the third act. But the fourth, I didn't feel like it anyway. But that being said, I still had fun. I still explored everything and made my way through everything. As soon as I get more sulfite, I'm gonna make my way back to the mines and maybe make some more items there. Although the monsters there are actually really strong. Probably the strongest I faced anywhere in the game so far. So yeah, this was my short journey through Act 4. These are the items I have right now. As you can see, I upgraded a little bit. I actually went with a little bit more armor, because before all I had was energy life, and as good as it is, I felt like I was taking quite a lot of damage, so I decided to take a few items that had some armor in it. I also found, like I showed you before, this Vand with a lot of spell damage. That was pretty juicy. I also had some rings and everything upgraded, but you can see everything for yourself. So this is my progression so far. We'll see how the Act 5 goes, but as always guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for making all the way to the end. If you would and could subscribe to the channel, like the video, that would mean a lot to me. As I told you before, you guys already know, but I am a small channel and every bit of support helps me a lot. Every like and every subscription helps me with the algorithm and helps me to get through more people, so I appreciate your help. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the Act 5 of my journey. Thank you, bye bye.